Q here. Welcome to the channel if you found it. We have the King of Swords showing up. And this is as I'm shuffling the fifth or fourth time he showed up at the bottom of the deck, and I was like, I guess this is our shuffle. 8 swords of stomach in the knots worried. Take your blindfold off and look around and whittle truth. And you will find that many problems, seeming problems, alleged problems, fade away into the nothingness in which they arose out of. So, will the truth be the truth and speak the truth, just like this King of Swords? And this king doesn't have gender. It's just the pentacle of the expression of truth. Do I need to bring more, or do you relish in the moment of peace that truth brings? The Emperor is experiencing a tower moment and will either fall or grow. Both are acceptable. You have all eternity. However, the longer you take on lessons that are obvious and that you do know, the longer it takes to get the things that you don't know and that actually will light up your world. How's that for a wielding of truth? The moon there is all I can see in these 9 swords. If the fox had a little bit of energy from that King of Swords, instead of being sly and, what is the word? Slick. It's like the mastery and the expression of pulling wool. Just be real, but I'm asking a predator to move the positions of its eyes and become less capricious. Rapacious. Not capricious. Capricious would be nice, but rapacious. It's the murderous rage that a fox will do when it gets into the hen house. It's not killing out of survival or hunger. It just goes into a frenzy. But it's an animal. What are humans' excuses? Gain some self-control. You not only dim the light of experience for others, but you also ultimately dim it for yourself. And everybody that comes through the journey of life comes to the end of it and knows the truth that I'm saying in that statement. Like the King of Swords. You sully your choice and options by staying boxed. And much like the divine and God and the flying spaghetti noodle monster or whatever it is you need to slap kind of label over it, I prefer the unmanifest, for it makes space for anything and everything to arise up out of it. It's pretty basic, however, very profound to wrap your head around. Because, frankly, not many people actually know what the hell the God is. And to think and kick your toes along the road that you are, don't express advanced calculus when one can't even do multiplication tables. You're gonna get a really grave error. And yes, that statement is true. When it is true, it won't excuse ego type behavior, because that is an expression of how the divine unfolded, but it is certainly not the only way. Also, in my conversation that I had last night, Steve, does anybody remember the crowns that they had at the Burger King? Because that's about the only crown worthy of an ego. Now, I do kick this thought up into the air that everything can be done with integrity. Even the disarming of absolute power that we try to wrangle from our egos and others' egos, because everybody has dealt with it. Everybody has dealt or dealing with or running as fast as they can from their narcissistic core. To which, hat tip to it, thank you, for which we wouldn't have survived without it. But the moment civilization arose, that became almost unacceptable. So catch up with the times. Or why the hell do we even have civilization? Because everybody's utilizing and running rampant with their ego, and ultimately it's supposed to be there for our survival. Civilization made that a guarantee. Perhaps having everybody not having to struggle for survival will take away that excuse. Or are you just a fox in the hen house? An interesting thought. Didn't mean to ramble on to that, but you know. Energies are heavy. What was important to this one time ago is no longer important to current state. So if any of my words find the ears and help someone just go, ultimately everything ever said can be surmised into this very simple sound. Duh. But don't take away everything that makes that statement be able to say duh. It's not oversimplification of it. It's not taking away the essence and the beauty and the long struggle and journey that it took for that statement to be true. It just kind of goes, where you been? It was obvious. Man, just like, honestly, like, golden rule. We're the same humans. Why don't we keep circling and doing the same pattern and the same history? Everybody feels ultimately that still are ran by an ego that peace is boring. I say staying on a wheel of the same choices and the same phenomena and the same thing going over and over again throughout the 200,000 years of history that we've had since we started, you know, not being nomads. It's like I just want to take these greedy corporations and no, I'm just going to bold out say it, these drug companies of when is enough money enough? Y'all going to keep on, and some high level energy is going to turn its eye to the unnecessity, the lack of the need to have the presence of money in this world, which is the growing pains I feel and postulate that humanity's going through right now. We can't control ourselves with it, well, we're gonna disappear it. And with the advent of limitless power, like legit energy, that has been denied to us oddly for quite a long time, just out of sheer greed, will open the doors to many things that used to be our excuses of maintaining this archaic, ungrowing, boxed, finite. And as I'm just going to probably say in every lecture-esque reading or presentation I do, the divine, the infinite, the flying spaghetti noodle monster, the unmanifest, God, ever so kindly ask you to cease boxing it. It's trying to keep growing too. A boxed infinite isn't infinite. It's finite, and you limit the options available to not only choice of growth, but also all the choices that could have arisen for you. If anything, that you need help being motivated to start seeing that, do it out of selfishness. I want more options. I'll sneak in the back door. Get integrity for those lacking it by sneaking in the back door. Sneak in integrity. But what you fear you'll demonize, make trivial, and make small, just as we know on page 113 of that narcissistic code, that core, that 178 options that they can only know, and that's it. Paint it however you want, but that's all there is to them. Don't you want more? Especially when you know that that's what is being done. At what point do a pair of new Jordans loses its fancy? That being said, if you're going to do bad or negative or deleterious actions, I think is the more accurate thing for your own self-gain, think a little bit bigger. How about a house or a condo instead of just some new Jordans? Think of how pathetic, and that's harsh. It was a harsh statement, but it's true. Think of how pathetic that is in the grand scheme. You can't even think bigger than your own feet. And peace is boring. No. Small-minded is boring. Boxed infinite is boring. The same thing that we've been doing over and over again, just so some new person X can be like the person that they didn't like in the first place, as they were underneath their rule and ego and narcissistic core. And I'm sorry I keep using the big naughty N word. But to be a human means that you have that baggage. Sorry. How else do you think creation arose? We have all that baggage. But we also have the beautiful gift of a prefrontal cortex, and if you have integrity, you have an etheric brain too, which responds to the energy faster than your brain can. And those that align with that are waking up, and we're gonna change the world. So hold on to your new Jordans. May they get you to where you need to go. But ultimately, the next year, or hell, even 6 months from now, you'll need a new pair. Think bigger, and do it for others. Wouldn't you have liked if someone had done it for you? Maybe it's your responsibility to have created the space in which that was a choice. And maybe the light of love will be a little bit bigger carrot to motivate somebody than some just object that pretty much everyone has. So what's the point of the clout and the not clout, but the prestige of having such item if it's so commonplace? It reminds me of transitioning into high school from middle school, when you were still a kid, and then you become this little terror of a small boxed-minded little ego that has its tantrums. Are you just a 3-year-old toddler throwing a temper tantrum because you didn't get your new Air Jordans? Or did you go to sleep or rest your mind this evening or yesterday evening or maybe even tonight, knowing that you changed somebody's life, if only just for 3 minutes, by taking a single moment to just give a fuck? Hat tip to the individual that was brave enough to say, yes, I do need a hug yesterday. And I hope that he or they, I hope that they were awakened to the fact that they could just as easily as I did do that for somebody else. That was more delightful than any material thing I could ever hold in my hand for the transitory moment. Just as transitory as that interaction with that individual that just needed somebody else to give a shit for a moment. Which, seemingly, all those that lack empathy are seeking shelter in this storm of life that's arising. Why? Because someone, anyone, to just hear and show a moment of compassion and empathy is going to be the most sought after experience. Just to know and to be related with. When did we all become little teenagers? I remember myself. I was like, I have to have, what was it at the time? Tommy Hilfiger. Now, not for nothing, in comparison to what I was experiencing before as jeans, it was a better quality. Not worth the extra that was needed just because I get to I get to walk around and be an advertisement. Now, if you were, again, like a home or whatever, or if you came to me with some Echoes, most comfortable freaking shoes, and I'm gonna plug them because, well, they are, and I miss my damn pairs of shoes. ECCO. Not a pretty shoe, they're freaking ugly. But I wore them every day because my feet never hurt. Think bigger. Think beyond preteen pretense of scrounging and looking for your identity. No knocking of preteens and teenagers that are having to deal with this. But what's the excuse of the 48-year-old man holding on to youth that doesn't belong to them anymore and destroying all those in their wake to grasp onto something that everyone, as they turn the corner, just laughs at as they try to struggle and hold on to still? Be authentically you, and you may find that you actually are not as horrible as you think you are. In addition to cease boxing the divine also please and request to cease punishing yourself. Y'all overdo it. I don't know why this became a rant or a brunch, but the smoke and mirrors and the deceit of trying to steal away with some Jordans the beauty of life to be reduced down to some materialistic garbage that only has relativistic meaning because we don't know what we are. So we attach importance to those that just kind of, for lack of a better word, got lucky, or as we're discovering, planted. Maybe the simplest answer of what the motivation behind these actions and why that is made to look important and be important to a mass populace is right plainly in front of you. So are you feeding their beast or yours? Again, if you can't get there via the mind, you can't get there via the heart, get there with at least some pride of being your own person. But I've never worn a pair of Jordans, frankly, so maybe they're the most comfortable pair of shoes in the world. I don't know, like I said, I've had a pair of Echoes, ECCO, and that's a tall bar to fill. Be fulfilled by something that fulfills you and not because someone told you so. Again, not to box it. Maybe that is what fulfills you. Stop trying to proselytize others just so you don't feel like the teenage idiot that you're acting like. Maybe they were just fine with their bargain shoes. Shit, I'm falling apart and I had to go buy some today because, well, where I live rains. And every time I wear them, they get my feet soaking wet because there's holes in them. That is the last thing that's important to me. But I've decided that I need to start taking care of my human as well. But I ain't gonna sacrifice others just so I can wear something I won't even fucking remember in 2 years. Think about that for all those that are guilty. Whenever you find this, and I doubt it would ever find you unless you have some thing knock you on your ass and make you assess it. Because otherwise you would never be looking at tarot because you can't ever think past your own self. So, this message is for you when you do get knocked on your ass. And for those that struggle to kind of wrap their head around the craziness that happens in this world. You're right to think it's crazy. But see it for what it actually is. The harsh word of pathetic. To surrender all your potential to a thing that would throw you off the cliff if it wanted to. I think we put value in the wrong places, just like our concerns, our happiness, or what we deem important or worthy of like effort and time and the very awareness that is so precious in the gift of having life. Like the bottle thing at the store. Why is that a concern and a care? We just care about the wrong shit. And everybody's going to get woken up to that because people are stepping into their power. They're going to show a different way. And it will be just be glaringly obvious that it's not only beneficial for that person, but it's beneficial for all. It feels good. And it'll be better than any drug that you could ever put in your body. Get addicted to life instead of drowning it out by your next desire and want. But choice is, it's not better than, it's just different. And the whole solid argument of this lecture rant, taking a moment, is that aren't you tired of the same thing over and over again? But some people don't. Some people have never tried a different flavor of ice cream. And just the very thinking of trying something different, you already go, ugh. Rum raisin. Have you even tried it? It might actually be better than whatever your favorite was. You don't know until you're standing there in that very moment, because the thing can only know what it is by virtue of being it, thinking about it, hearing about it, researching about it, listening to the opinion of someone else, so you don't have to think for yourself, while at the same time being like sheeple. Oh, bless humanity's heart. But I still have hope. We can survive this teenage expression that we're all kind of going through. Find where you're guilty in that. Or just light a different way. Forge your own path. And by virtue of doing that, people will see that it's possible. And maybe start unboxing themselves to get their happiness. Something new. And not just being a vicious animal in a rage of blood frenzy in a chicken house. Maybe just go in there and pick off one because you were actually hungry. What was civilization for? If you don't even believe you have survival. Tell you what, it's gonna get taken away. It'll be like these zombie movies and all this, and the place where like civilization collapses and falls, and the thing that we took for granted the most will be the very thing that we just probably instantaneously make again. Or fall away into oblivion. It's not as loving as the other one, but I can sense it's more of a mean daddy lecture. It feels like a, I don't know, like a 710, maybe a 620. Heavy in the 400s. I will do that presentation later today. I felt like I just needed to actually ask for permission, but intention is I will never monetize it because, well, it's not mine. So let's get this wheel turning. Step away from the repeating cycle of the same thing over and over. Shift your paradigm and step into a new world. Newness. Imagine if everything was newness versus just the new pair of Jordans that you destroyed somebody's life without your even knowing for. Turn away from the truth of the actions, because if you were to just look at it, the sadness that would sweep over your heart, soul, and sully everything henceforth. Oof, just the fact that that could be a possibility should be a deterrent in itself. But, you know, row away. But don't take no dinghy out into a place where you need a ship. A frigate. And even frigates can't handle a 100-meter wave. Oof. Yeah, you watch yourself. It's crazy. Be more than you were in 8th grade. I can't even remember that far back ago. Oh my goodness. Seriously, sometimes it's embarrassing for humanity, but I have hope still, because I have to. I also have the fortunacy of knowing that, well, it's perfect. And if y'all fail, I know that the divine isn't boxed, and it'll be expressed eventually. It doesn't require you, especially if you keep yourself so contained. Don't lose your chance at life. It's honestly a thing taken for granted. Can't wrap your head around that? Realize how incredibly lucky, rare, and perfect this space is. It's one in a galaxy almost. And you took that opportunity to get a crisp new pair of Jordans. I don't know why I'm so gung ho on that. I don't know, I just saw 3 people that I know are antagonistic towards others with some crisp new Jordans last night. The broken eggs of potential, unwilling to learn, have their own expression, and too fearful to even be honest about their own desires, hurting their own hearts, and making a fool out of the choice of life. Stop stealing away your happiness and look towards something that's different. Pull humanity out of the cold. And the reason I grabbed this deck, the moon, realize that integrity illuminates everything, and there are no secrets. But a person of integrity doesn't weaponize it like those that want to hold secrets. Thus, they can know. In a nutshell, get the fuck out of your own way. All right. So let's pull my head out of my ass lecturing mean dad. Not mean dad, but just like, for fuck's sake, come on, people. It's embarrassing. Like, really? Sometimes things are just never like how you could even possibly have imagined. So change it and make it your own expression. Or are you just your grandfather or grandmother, or the same repeating cycles of the same human being expressed over and over again? 8 billion of us, and frankly, exaggeration, there's only 98 of us. Oof. A person can't even think of the concept of that large of a number of 8 billion. And there's just pretty much just like 100 different variations. Because they don't want the responsibility of being their own self. Well, get the fuck out of the way so those that won't actually be here and be different and express themselves can actually do so. Stop sabotaging them just because you didn't have the balls or kahunas or knockers to do it yourself. But you got those Crips Jordans though. Change it up. See something new that's real. Otherwise, you're just doomed to keep going over and over and over again, self-sabotaging and losing the very essence of the curiosity of transformation to some flimsy heartache. The downside of the Queen of Wands. But I keep seeing in these expressions, when you get them by themselves, man, do they want to express themselves of who they actually are? Why won't you risk doing so? Fear. Fear. It's not the devil making you not. Shoot, the devil would encourage you. Pick your head up, children. Go express yourself. Be wild, be crazy. You sitting there just ashamed of that you even had the damn thought. That's not even touching divine energy or angel energy. Can't even be ashamed of your own desires. Or be accepting of your own desires. Oof. The repression. Repression gets suppressed. Repression makes monsters. Eventually, you get in that hen house. Again, are you an animal? Or are you gifted with the awesomeness of being a human? Victory coming in for those that face truth. Because we started with the King of Truth who wields it. That energy makes you face it. There's an idea of the juggle. Welcome to the new world. Because money is about to disappear. The concept of lack is going to disappear. And being productive isn't the difference between life and death and survival. It's because it's what you are and what you have to bring to the table of humanity. And because it's genuine and real and you, and not just something you were told to be, it will have limitless value. Like right now, if I could crack a joke, it would be so valuable. But that's not the space in which I'm in at the moment. I'm in lecturing Mean Daddy because I'm just kind of tired of these kids. Have no business being kids. Even taking away the space of a kid to be evil in a kid. Make sure you get your kids' meal Burger King crown there as you order it your way. For as long as that chain can last. Especially as things balance out. And you could either have a Whopper or you could go to your upper food chain establishment and literally eat for the same amount of money. Polity is going to start outshining that expedient, immediate gratification. Pull humanity out of the small number of those that are willing to step up. Thankfully, the small number, by aligning with power versus force, holds up the very world. Otherwise, it would have fell apart long ago to the frenzy. Oh, it's gone. Of the fox in the hen's house. It's all in these cards. They just wanted to be luxury, but it's all with love and it's all real. Even now, as my ego is creeping in and creating doubt. But it's there. It's timeless. It's not usually as heavy as this, but like I said, I'd give anything for a joke right now. Or just a slice of fun. But it's okay if I don't. For y'all. So every time I say, if you are in a dark space, Q's got you. Because sometimes you just need somebody to be there for you and give you that hug that, with no words, just almost tear in your eye, just nod your head like the innocent child that we've been holding back from expressing whatever it is that it wanted to express. You can't use a purple crayon. The hell I won't. I will throw every other color in this crayon box away and I will only color in purple because that's what I'm going to do and it expresses me. Stop boxing me. But you're boxing yourself by only doing purple. You're boxing me by telling me what I can and cannot be. Gloria and Excelsius Deo. And again, if you are in a dark space, Q's got you.